We're the Glotfeltys, Carla, Randy. We've been attending Victory for 27 years. I've been with the Ranger Ministry there for 15, 16 years, and Carla has been moving
with
through
Girls Ministries.
Right. We have 2 kids, Chandler and Miranda. Chandler's the oldest by 2 years.
He is into everything.
Yeah.
If it's available, he wants to know about it, do it, participate in it.
He likes an adventure-rich life. And he went to Harrison, so he's a musician, he's a percussionist, and he's going down to FAU to get a degree in commercial music.
After the first semester that I was there, I noticed I wasn't quite feeling sick, just feeling a little off, not feeling 100%. Didn't really get any better, started, kind of got used to it, I guess, after a week or so. From there, started getting a little worse, and throughout the rest of the semester, it got to a point where, I had to drop a class and I failed another because I just wasn't able to ever go to the class. I was, missing out on events, and my friends wanted to go to the beach or hang out or do whatever, and I wasn't able to go just because I couldn't leave the room. Most of my classes were only 100 yards away, and I wasn't able to get up and go that far. Lost 25 pounds, 30 pounds, and that's with me eating as much as I could, and I was going to the gym a couple times a week, and I was really trying to stay healthy, and it was just getting worse and worse. And every time I see my friends, they say, "Are you all right? You look thinner. You look pale. You look kind of just not good in general." So that's kind of when I started noticing that I was something was not right.
He went from this guy who was just always on the go and doing, and what can we do next, to literally every day spent just laying on the couch trying to recover from the horrible night he'd had before. And the doctor diagnosed him with Crohn's disease, which some people had been throwing around a little bit. I think I was in denial, but everything was there. All the symptoms were there. Within about 2.5 months, he'd lost 30 pounds. So he wasn't absorbing his nutrition. And when you start talking to the doctors, you hear things like, there's no cure. 2/3 of all patients will have at least one surgery in their lifetime. You read things like, with medication, it's possible that this is not a totally debilitating disease. It's kind of this thing that we have as parents, I think, as they're growing up, that we actually have control. And it was the realization for the first time that we really had no control. There was, we could take him to the doctors, we could get the medication, but as far as what that meant long term, we had no control over that. And I spent way too many hours, way too many middle of the nights when you wake up, and that's when Satan seems to hit you the hardest.
For me, it wasn't really the biggest of all issues until I started realizing how expensive this was going to be. Because while yes, I do have good insurance through my mom through the clinic, I'm not always going to have that, and so I'm going to have to find something that either covers it, or I'm going to have to find a way to pay for this medicine that's close to $2,000 a month, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to do that.
The doctor decided he wanted to do another colonoscopy, and just to kind of see how we were progressing with the new medication that he was on. So that colonoscopy took place the beginning of May of this year. The test consisted of the colonoscopy and taking more biopsies of the areas that they had looked at the year before. And when we went in to see Chandler in recovery, the nurse came out and said, the doctor's still in procedure, but he wants you to wait. He wants to come out and speak with you before we discharge Chandler.
And I remember just in a whisper, I said, God, we didn't come down here for more bad news. Why does he want to take more biopsies? And he wanted us to wait an extra hour so he could speak to us. And that just didn't sit like, hey, you're getting ready to have some good news.
Right. So we waited, and eventually he came out, and I think the first words out of his mouth were, I don't see any evidence of Crohn's. And I remember looking at him.
He's kind of racing around the corner, and I thought it was just an odd picture. I hear this doctor's trying to get on his lab coat and look professional, but you could tell he had like an excitement to him. And I don't know how many times he gives good news in the course of a day, at least this kind of news. And yeah, he said, there is no evidence of disease. And I thought to myself, You know, God knew that I don't want there to be any sign, any evidence of anything but me there. When I heal him, it's going to be perfect. There's not going to be scar tissue because somebody else went in there and did something. It's going to be the way I see it. And it's just amazing because, I mean, you can doubt it and you can say that maybe it's in remission, maybe he didn't have it, but we have a notebook full of some of the best that I can guarantee you, he had Crohn's disease and he was facing a life of Crohn's disease and now he doesn't.
I think both my mom and dad in raising me, the number one thing that they did in raising me was teach me that life's kind of what you make it. So just put 110% into everything that you do. I guess the entirety of my life is just that, you know, do your best and that's all you can do and let God cover everything else.
I think God uses every experience to tell his story of love and grace and mercy. And I know that there are people that are holding on for that moment. And I don't know what it looks like for them. I know that he can do it and he will. And he's got a story in all of that to bring people to him. And so, you know, what we can do is just keep walking that journey.